Welcome to Bloodstained Stories, where we dive deep into the dark and gripping world of true crime. I'm your host, Joseph, and today we're stepping back in time to uncover the tragic and haunting events of the Salem Witch Trials. In 1692, the small village of Salem, Massachusetts, was engulfed by hysteria, leading to the accusation, trial, and execution of many innocent people accused of witchcraft. Join me as we explore the origins of the witch hunt, the key figures involved, and the devastating impact these trials had on the community. Are you ready to journey into the heart of true crime and historical injustice? Let's get started. In the late 17th century, the small Puritan settlement of Salem Village in the Massachusetts Bay Colony was engulfed in a wave of hysteria and fear. From 1692 to 1693, a series of trials and executions took place, driven by accusations of witchcraft. The Salem Witch Trials resulted in the execution of 20 individuals and the imprisonment of many more, leaving a dark stain on American history. This episode of mass hysteria and judicial failure remains a sobering reminder of the dangers of scapegoating and the breakdown of due process. Salem Village, now present-day Danvers, Massachusetts, was a community fraught with tension and uncertainty. The settlers faced harsh living conditions, religious rigidity, and political instability. The Puritan belief system, which emphasized the presence of the devil and the constant threat of evil, set the stage for the witch trials. In January 1692, the Reverend Samuel Parris's daughter, Betty, and niece, Abigail Williams, began exhibiting strange behaviors, including convulsions, fits, and hysterical episodes. Unable to find a medical explanation, the villagers suspected witchcraft. Under pressure, the girls named 3 women as witches: Tituba, a Caribbean slave; Sarah Good, a beggar; and Sarah Osborne, an elderly, impoverished woman. The initial accusations triggered a chain reaction. As fear spread, more villagers came forward with claims of affliction and visions of witches. The local magistrates, Jonathan Corwin and John Hathorne, conducted preliminary hearings, accepting spectral evidence, testimony that the spirit or specter of the accused was seen committing witchcraft, as valid. The trials began in earnest in June 1692, with a special court of oyer and terminer established to handle the cases. Presided over by Judge Samuel Sewell, Judge Samuel Phipps, and Chief Justice William Stoughton, the court quickly became notorious for its harsh methods and reliance on dubious evidence. Several cases stand out in the annals of the Salem Witch Trials. Bridget Bishop. The first to be tried and executed, Bridget Bishop was a widow with a reputation for defying Puritan norms. She was convicted on scant evidence, including testimonies about her satanic practices and unusual behavior. Rebecca Nurse. A respected, elderly woman, Nurse's conviction shocked the community. Despite a petition signed by numerous villagers attesting to her innocence, she was found guilty and hanged, highlighting the trial's arbitrary nature. Giles Corey. Refusing to plead guilty or innocent, Corey was subjected to pressing, a form of torture where heavy stones were placed on his chest. He died after 2 days, his final words reportedly being "more weight," symbolizing his resistance to the hysteria. Tituba. The slave of Samuel Parris, Tituba confessed to witchcraft under duress, likely to save herself from execution. Her confession fueled the hysteria and led to further accusations. The accusations quickly spiraled out of control. Prominent community members, including the wife of Governor Phipps, were named as witches. The climate of fear and paranoia led to a flurry of arrests, with jails overflowing with the accused. Spectral evidence, gossip, and personal vendettas became the basis for many accusations. The rigid puritanical framework and existing social tensions only exacerbated the situation. Neighbors turned against each other, and the once tight-knit community was torn apart by fear and suspicion. By late 1692, the initial fervor began to wane as doubts about the legitimacy of the trials grew. Increase Mather, a prominent minister, published a pamphlet criticizing the use of spectral evidence and the legal proceedings. Governor Phipps, influenced by Mather and alarmed by the growing hysteria, dissolved the court of oyer and terminer in October 1692. In 1693, The new Superior Court of Judicature was established to handle the remaining cases. This court, refusing to accept spectral evidence, acquitted many of the accused and eventually brought an end to the trials. Governor Phipps issued a general pardon for those still imprisoned. The aftermath of the Salem Witch Trials left a lasting impact on American society. The trials exposed the dangers of mass hysteria, the importance of due process, and the potential for injustice in the judicial system. Many of those involved later expressed remorse. Judge Samuel Sewell publicly confessed his guilt and asked for forgiveness, while others sought to atone for their actions. The descendants of the accused and executed worked to clear their ancestors' names. In 1711, the Massachusetts colony passed a bill restoring the rights and good names of those accused and providing financial restitution to their heirs. The Salem Witch Trials have since become a symbol of the perils of scapegoating and the importance of rational legal standards. They have been the subject of countless books, plays, and films, serving as a cautionary tale about the consequences of hysteria and the breakdown of justice. The Salem Witch Trials are a dark chapter in American history, marked by fear, superstition, and the miscarriage of justice. Despite the passage of over 3 centuries, the lessons from this tragic episode remain relevant today. Reflecting on the trials, we are reminded of the importance of due process, the need for critical thinking, and the dangers of allowing fear and hysteria to override reason and compassion. The story of Salem serves as a haunting reminder of the human capacity for both cruelty and redemption, echoing through the annals of history as a testament to the enduring quest for truth and justice. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Bloodstained Stories as we examined the chilling and tragic events of the Salem Witch Trials. If you found this deep dive into one of America's most infamous historical injustices compelling, please subscribe and leave a review. Your support helps us bring more in-depth true crime stories and historical mysteries to you. Follow us on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes content. Have a theory or a case you'd like us to cover? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring the mysteries of the true crime world.